So this video is to enable us correct inventory values. There are some situations where inventory values might be negative due to incorrect posting. For example, an example of this was in the limit system. They were purchasing inventory and restocking. I just use one item as a case study at 1007 as the unit price. During the course of restocking, another person used 18 naira as the unit price. So because of this change in the unit cost price, the values of the inventory were not reporting accurately. This is because they have imputed the wrong unit prices. Some other causes of this problem might be it's mainly due to confusion as a result of pack size and unit cost price for people that are using the pack size feature. Some other causes might be imputing wrong information, and before they void the transaction, they would have already performed some utilizations and other things with that wrong information. Thus, the inventory value now starts reporting inaccurately. So there might be different causes of this issue. We will keep identifying them as they come about. So moving on now to the correction. How do we correct this problem? The first step is we've created a feature here. This adjust unit costs. It's part of the bulk operations plugin. Once you come here, you select the second option. I'm trying to be very fast because of my battery. You select your category, and it's advised if you don't have a very powerful server, it's best to do this one item at a time. We have restricted it to 20 items at a time. Like the server at NISA can handle this very well, but for other people, St. Nicholas and Limit, that don't have very powerful servers, it's best they do this one item at a time. So once you search for the item, you put the new price you want to modify it to. Then you set your start date and end date. Now the way the functionality works is that it will go through, it will look for all the GRNs starting from this start date and update all of them. Then it will subsequently recalculate all these other values. If no GRN was found in the start date period, it just tries to update any utilization that is in this start date to now start using this new unit cost price. So some important factors you need to have at the back of your mind is to be able to test for correction. So because since this is a relatively new functionality, there might be some gray areas or unforeseen situations that I haven't taken into account. So to enable us manage that properly, do not run this directly on any live environment. Always take a copy of the database, take it to you can take it to your local environment, or for us at SNH using the 1.4, it can be moved to the 1.4. Once the copy of the database has been moved to that environment, you can then run this to test it out on the environment and check for certain criteria to know if it's correct or not. So I'm going to list out those criteria that you use to know if it's correct or not shortly. If you can't move the database to a different environment, you can recreate the problem by posting random values into your inventory. So you can create different purchase orders, you can create different utilizations, use different prices, try to post nonsense the way they post it also, so as to create the problem. Then you can now test out the feature on that item. So now for the checks for correction, before you start the process, always check the trial balance before you start. So use the trial balance summary. Once you check the moment the values are balanced, that means you have a first test criteria. So after running the process, you will come back to the trial balance to ensure that it's still balanced. The second check is you come to the general ledger, select inventory, select the item, put your start and end date, and generate the report before you run. You look at the values before you run. Then after running, this value should be positive, this closing balance. That's one check. The second check also, after running, open the item and check the item. The weighted average would have changed depending on the input you made. Then also check the stock level. So once you open the stock level, you see your closing stock. By the time you do your closing stock times the weighted average, that is this, it should be equal to this value you have here. So this is how you also test for correction after running. So thank you.